about what's gone on the last 2 or 3 days was not as much as it really was. These folks are tremendous folks who have touched thousands of kids, and they've touched hundreds in our community just in the last couple of days. This guy won 9 out of 13 state cross-country championships in California. No school in California in any sport has ever approached that kind of excellence. More importantly, he turned an entire community around, and what he started in the mid-'80s still goes on today. It's a different place because of these two people. So please let them know you appreciate them being in Hickory.
Let me just tell you thank you. I've got a wonderful city here, and I'll make one correction. It was 9 out of 14 years.
Darn. We are really going to go because I got to get them back on an airplane. But thank you for giving us a minute. And they are kicking off for something, an effort that our kids are going to be involved in, teenagers, in terms of helping young kids with reading. And they gave us a great kickoff, so stay with us and we can all get on board as we go forward with this.
Thank you, John. Thank you for joining us. 9 out of 14 is pretty impressive. Half of our people here can't make 9 out of 14 Thursday meetings, so. Before we get Meg Locke coming up here with the Sunshine Moment, Meg, come your way. Just one bit of sad news, unfortunately. I don't know if anybody, Ed Maddox, he's the immediate past president of the Rotary Club of Sherrills Ford, passed away yesterday morning. But if anybody, if you can just keep their family in your prayers, please. Sunshine Moment. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you. Hey everybody, I am so glad to see all of y'all, and I appreciate your prayers and thoughts while my sister has been going through her surgery, her diagnosis with breast cancer. It's a timely month for me to be here, and so I will share some things with you in a few minutes about that. But first I want to do our report. Steve Moll's father is in the hospital and has suffered a stroke and is in grievous condition, and I want all of you to know that. Please keep he and his whole family in your thoughts and prayers. Judy Avey is, Dallas's wife, is undergoing surgery today and should do well, but again, thoughts and prayers are always appreciated, and I think that would, and we already know about Neil, so that was great news about that, so keep him also in your thoughts and prayers. Last week we didn't do the birthday report, and I am going to do the right thing by y'all and not leave the singing as Clarence suggested, because you will not want me to do that, but I will go through. Clem Geithner's birthday was on October 5th. Dallas Avey, George Furlong, and Suzanne Trollin was on October 6th. Corey Tidgeon was on the 7th, and Charles Young, who I'm sitting with, is on October 8th. So we'll just all say happy birthday together.
Happy birthday!
Okay, good. I just don't think it's a good idea for me to sing, and I promise you, you don't either. So as I mentioned, my sister was diagnosed in May with breast cancer, and she lives in Rock Hill, but has come to our medical community to receive her care, and during that time, that's what I've been doing when I have not been with y'all, and so I've missed you. But one of the things I will share with you, she was going through one of her treatments and having a really hard time, and so I used a sunshine moment technique of telling some jokes. So these are ones that I shared with her, and literally it got her through what she was doing. And so now what we do is we just go knock knock, and so she'll text me back and go, who's there? And I'll say, little old lady, and she'll say, little old lady who? And I'll say, I didn't know you could yodel. So just so we're clear, we do have these kinds of jokes ahead of us this morning. What do you call a dog with no legs? You don't, he's not coming anyway. I went to a really emotional wedding the other day. Even the cake was in tears. I'm telling y'all it worked. I'm just going to share with you. I'm okay. That's okay. I was so bummed. Why do cow wear bells? Because their horns don't work. These are several of my favorite, so I'll just go ahead and share these, and then I'm almost done, so we won't prolong this. I took the shell off my racing snail, thinking it would make him run faster. If anything, it made him a little more sluggish. Come on, that's a good one, come on. All right, someone stole my mood ring. I don't know how I feel about that. I tried to catch the fog yesterday, missed. And last but not least, a hot blonde orders a double entendre at the bar. The bartender gave it to her. Thank y'all.
My sister has a high tolerance for pain.
She does.
Thank you, Meg. Suzanne Trollin, I don't have anything to say after that. Suzanne Trollin has our program.
Awfully hard to follow that. Okay, our program today is a result of some good old-fashioned Rotary networking. Last year I was responsible for finding some things to do with our international efforts, and I received an email from Judy Domer about a project that her club, the Asheville Biltmore Club, was sponsoring. And so we started corresponding with each other. It was actually really nice to actually meet in person today and learn a little bit more non-Rotarian stuff about Judy, but I'm going to turn the microphone over to her and let her tell you about the good work that our club has helped to support.
Now I'm in trouble. Where's my, we had it all set up and ready to go, and it's disappeared.
You hold this a second, I can help her.
All right, we're in business. We're in business. Yay. Thank you very much. Is this supposed to be? Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and talk to you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your $500 contribution to the $4,000 we needed to finish off a project at a school in Kenya. So I've come to talk to you about it, actually. The school itself is called Trinity Mission School. It was established in 2008 in a town called Gilgil, Kenya. Our contact was Pastor Joe Kamau. And as Suzanne was saying, our club was looking for some sort of international involvement. We have a very small budget for our service projects, but we decided that we would have at least $1,000 to contribute to a project. And I had a chance encounter in Greenville at the district conference with this Joe Kamau, who had come from Kenya to work with the Hendersonville Club on another water project. And I said, Joe, we have about $1,000, but let us know if there's some way that we can help in a small way with your efforts in Kenya. Okay, that was June. August, I get an email from Joe, and he says, we need $5,000 for a water collection system at this Trinity Mission School and Children Home. Well, we only had $1,000, we couldn't come up with $5,000, and so I started networking, as Suzanne said, and the bottom line is we were able to come up with what was $4,000, because in the interim, a high school in Nevada had contributed $1,000 to the project, so we were just down to $4,000 that was needed. There is a website for this particular school and foundation if you're interested in looking at it at a later time. This is a picture of the school. In a moment I'll give you some more specifics. These are the high school students that are shown here. The school was established in 2008 by a coalition of Rotarians, churches, and a local charitable organization. They saw a desperate need for children who were displaced during the violence in 2007 that followed the general election in Kenya. Some children also are there because their parents have died with HIV/AIDS, which of course continues to be a massive problem in Africa in general. The school itself has 360 girls, mainly orphans, and girls rescued from early marriages. There are tribes in Kenya who will force children as young as 10 to marry. And so some of these children are rescued from those early marriages. The children range, and it's all girls, and the children range in age from 8 to 17 years of age. And there are 16 teachers, 12 females and 4 males, who take care of this entire population of 360 children, 360 girls specifically. In case you're a little bit geographically challenged, I thought I'd put this slide in. If you look down here at the bottom, this little insert here, this is of course Africa, and this is where Kenya is. Kenya does have a seaport, Mombasa on the Indian Ocean, and it's surrounded by Somalia, Ethiopia, Sudan, Uganda, and Tanzania. Now, the capital of Kenya, of course, is Nairobi. I'm sure most of you know that. But northwest, about 150 miles, is this small town called Gilgil. And another town that actually is not that easy to get from Naivasha to Gilgil, but the Naivasha Rotary Club was the one who actually took the lead on setting up this school for orphans for these children. Now, I also put a little circle here at a town called Narak, because you may have read in the recent district newsletter about a project that was sponsored by the Hendersonville Club in combination with the Naivasha Club to drill a well in Narak for the Masai Mara Reserve. That well, I think, is just about in the process of being completed. They got a global grant for it, and it's really almost up and running. This Gilgil is 5 miles from a lake, all right, which is apparently a popular tourist destination in Kenya. And on weekends, there's no water supply at all at the school, all right? No well, no taps, no nothing, okay. And so on weekends, the girls, what they do, I know you're gonna ask me, what do they do about drinking water? And I believe what they do is they tank in drinking water. No nice little bottles of drinking water like you and I are familiar with. There's a big tank truck that comes on a regular basis and costs a lot of money, as you can imagine, especially in Kenyan money, especially for these girls to drink and for them to cook with. So the girls have to, when the water supply is low, the girls have to walk to this lake. The lake is not shown here. It's a small lake, so it's not on a big map. But they have to walk about 5 miles to that lake to wash their clothes and to bathe on weekends. Okay? Problem is, the lake is inhabited by hippos. And of course, if you are not raised in an environment like this, you can't swim either. And so there was one of the girls from the orphanage who actually drowned over the Christmas holidays when they were there at the lake trying to wash their clothes. All right, the mission statement for this, I'm just really high on this school. The mission statement for this school includes the fact they want to improve the quality of life for Kenyan orphans through education and support relating to their daily needs. And they foster a community approach involving community members, faith-based outreach, and try to create a safe, fulfilling, and academically enriching environment that fosters independence and responsibility. All right, our project. As I said, we needed to put together $4,000 for a project for which the total cost was $9,500. And included in that cost were additional new gutters, one or more storage tanks and one or more pumps that to develop for the money. Now, why do we have the storage tanks, etc.? What they're doing is collecting rainwater runoff from the roof. And the rainwater runoff from the roof comes into a gutter system. Here you can see there are some old gutters on a part of the building, but here are new gutters that are from some of the money that we were able to donate to complete this project. Now, what do the tanks look like? They have at least 2 tanks, and I'm not sure, I believe they have an underground tank now as well. But these are one of these tanks was one of the ones that we were able to contribute toward in our $9,500 in this project. And as you can see, the pipes come down from the gutters to deliver the water into the tanks. Now, it's my understanding that there's 2 rainy seasons in Kenya. One is a long rainy, not long, but a high density rainy season, which is the end of April and May and the beginning of June, which was why when we heard about this project, we couldn't go for a district grant or something of that nature to try to help fund it because of the lead time. We heard in August, and the rainy season was going to start in the end of March or April. So we needed to get the money over there so they could get the gutters and the tank in place. But during that rainy season, they're able to collect enough water with these tanks that they have for about 4 months. We're talking 360 girls here now in an operation that is just really a shoestring operation. But when the water runs out with the tanks, then they have to go back to the lake to do their bathing and to clean their clothes. Had to put this in. In my former life, I was a scientist, so I had to put the pictures in of the students who are in the chemistry lab in the school. Now, also, this is an interesting part of the school, too, as well. In 2011, the Club of Navasha, working with what is now the Club of Gilgil, sponsored the students for the establishment of an Interact Club. The Interact Club is very involved in the school. They actually have a presence on Facebook. If you just type in Trinity Mission School, one of the options will be to go to the Facebook page for the Interact Club. The club focuses on polio eradication and peace initiatives. There are currently 38 members. When I wanted to get some little specifics, like how many teachers, etc., for this school, I decided I would just go ahead. There's the president's name is Julia. I'm blocking on her last name, but Julia, and there was a place where I could email Julia. And I thought, okay, let's just email Julia and see what we get back. And within 24 hours, I got an email back in perfect English with the answer to all of my questions from Julia. So I was just thrilled to be able to have that connection. It was just wonderful. Well, now the Interact Club, in addition, they have fundraisers and such they make jewelry, and I guess they must sell jewelry maybe to the people who come to the lake as tourists or whatever. And they also, as you'll see in a moment, sell honey. But they are very proud of the fact that they sponsor a soccer club. Now, the problem with the soccer club is, there were 2 problems. Number one, apparently their uniforms are very old and very tattered, and they have only 1 set of uniforms. But the other issue is that in order to play soccer, they need to go someplace else, to another school, etc. And in order to do this, the school has to hire a bus in order to take them. And as I said, this school looks to me like the school is really operated on a shoestring. I just can't imagine how they do what they do with these children, but it's phenomenal. So Julia, in her comments to me was, we really need new uniforms and we need a bus so we can go play other teams for the soccer, in soccer. All right, the school itself appears to be really committed to sustainability and cost cutting. They do try to grow some of their vegetables, but the problem is the short rainy season. And then there's lots of hot, dry weather, which is not conducive to growing lots of vegetables, but they do some of it. And in some of the pictures I've seen, you can see corn stalks growing in the fields behind the school. But they also cultivate bees. I guess that's a right word. Do we say cultivate bees? Whatever. It has 3 modern beehives. I looked at the beehives online. I'm not convinced they're all that modern, but they must work. And so they sell the honey, and that's another way that they can earn some money. And in fact, this club, the Interact Club, was the one who was originally responsible for generating the first $4,500 for the $9,500 project. And then this also, doesn't that just tug at your heart? The school has 60 local chickens. Every week students get an egg. All right, who are the contributors to this project? Well, as Suzanne indicated, we started out with our $1,000 contribution. The Pisgah Forest Rotary Club came in with $1,000. You folks generously gave us $500. The Asheville West Club, $400. The Rotary Club of Haywood County, $250. Then there were 3 individual Rotarians who came up with $350. And then, and this is a really interesting one too, the Black Mountain Home for Children, Youth, and Families came up with $500. Last year before Christmas, I was talking to my club and I said, you know, we really need to get the rest of the money for this $4,000. We've got to get it over there before the rainy season so they can start collecting the water. So any individual contributions aside from our $1,000 would be welcome. It happened to be at a time when the executive director from the Black Mountain Home was giving a talk to our club, and we were looking at possibilities for some joint service projects with the Black Mountain Home. And as he left, he said, I'll be in touch. And I thought, oh good, he's got some service projects and got something specific, and we'll be able to work with them on some project. 2 weeks later, I get an email from him, and he said, the youth leadership team at the Black Mountain Home for Children, Youth, and Families wants to donate $1,000 for your project. I was blown away. At that point, all we needed was $500. But the youth apparently have this youth leadership team meets every week. They take all the change out of their pockets and put it in the middle of the table. They have various fundraisers. I think there's one or more festivals in Black Mountain where they sell candy cotton or something at the festival. And they use that money for their own retreats and for their own service projects, and they wanted an international presence as well. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. The youth here helping the youth in Kenya. All right, I'll just leave you with this one final picture, just as an image that you can take home with you. Remember, these children range in age from, what did I say, 8 to 17, something like that. So this is one of the younger children. Look at those eyes, does express that beautiful face, but then look at the tattered clothes, and he probably does not have any shoes on. It's my understanding that one of the real big issues is clothes are just handed down from child to child as they outgrow them. And trying to keep shoes on 340 girls is an absolute challenge. But looking at this, I mean, this I feel good about what we were able to do, and that the fact that hopefully this child, this young girl, will have opportunities in the future that she never would have had she not come in contact with the Trinity Mission School. And I'm committed to trying to do some additional things as we work through the process of what the school really needs in terms of on a priority basis. But I thank you very much for your contribution of $500. It made a big difference.
Does anybody have any questions?
Not a question,
Okay?
but I just looked, beekeeping is referred to as apiculture.
That's right, absolutely. We have this beekeeper, don't tell this beekeeper in my club that I didn't know what it was called, okay? Thank you.
The school was organized in '07,
Oh, wait,
'08. What about the young ladies who moved through the school and are?
I don't have an answer to that, but one of the things that I do want to get in terms of getting up to snuff with this school is what has happened to some of the 17, 18-year-olds that have moved on. Have they had better lives because of this experience and able to do something else in terms of their lives?
And the boys from the
No boys.
community, but what's the backstory on no boys?
Well, the reason they actually apparently, in fact, my little friend Julia told me that they did initially, when the school was started, shortly after the school was started, they tried to incorporate boys into the school, but the need for the girls was so much more than they could, they just didn't want to split their resources. And so they decided to focus on the girls.
Was this, could you get a matching Rotary International grant?
No, see, we were too late. This happened in August. I heard about the need in August.
Timing.
It was timing.
Okay.
But in the future, when when I look at ways that we might be able to promote this partnership, that's certainly one of the directions we want to go.
I just didn't know why it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it was timing.
I was wondering, I believe you said there were 360 girls there.
Right, 360 or 340, something like that.
Do you know what size the staff is, or how many?
Yeah, well, there are 12 teachers. What did I say? 12 teachers? 16 teachers, 12 females and 4 males.
And are they live resident teachers?
I don't know about that.
I was curious.
Yeah,
That's a lot of girls.
it is. It is. Can you imagine?
No.
And their facility does not look that huge. I mean, they must just be stacked up to sleep in cots or something in the rooms. Yeah. Yes.
What was the reason for not digging away?
Because it is so expensive. Do you know how much that well for the Maasai tribe is going to cost? I think I'm going to get into trouble here. 50,000, something like that. Just can't do it.
Do we have any other questions?
Well, thank you very much.
Judith, thank you very much for sharing the story with
You're
us.
welcome.
And
Thank you.
here's a book of quotes on thanks for
All
you.
right, thank you.
And then we'll exchange flags. So
I promised that I was supposed to bring a flag with me this morning. I came from Asheville, by the way. So I came from Asheville, and I forgot when I walked out the door to bring the flag. So there we go, one in the mail when I get home.
that's how what some people tell us about their checks too. It's in the mail. We trust you though. So, David, come on down.
Thank you. Miss Judy, I know this lady.
Oh,
She's
you
old.
want
She's a
Don't forget coins in the Alzheimer's buckets. And October 23rd is World Polio Day, so we're going to do a special collection next week. Bring some dollar bills. We're going to have a contest for a free lunch next week. And do a collection for polio next week. What we got? Oh, these glasses here.
Today, Mark, we have 44 cards, and the collection day was $45 for a total of $460 in the pot.
All right, 400. And the winning number, last three, 765. Kyler, come on down. Now he just leaves them and they. However.
Hey!
Are the first three numbers 616?
Sure. We got a winner.
9 o'clock.
9 of clubs. Free lunch. Congratulations, Kyler. Please join me, please stand and join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it fair to all concerned